When you get your bare root rose in the mail, it's gonna look a little bit like this. It's gonna come in a plastic bag and it'll be tied closed. If you can't plant it right away, you can keep it in a cool, dark place. Maybe you have a refrigerator for a couple days in that bag, but then you do really wanna get it in the ground as soon as possible. But before you plant it, I wanna give you a couple tips on how to deal with bare root roses. So first of all, when you take it out of the bag, soak it. So I've got a bucket here of water and I've got these bare root roses. They're soaking. You can soak the entire thing. You can just dump the whole thing. It'll be very happy about that, but you really just need to get the roots nice and wet. Leave it in a bucket for about 2 hours, maybe as much as 12 hours. Don't leave it longer than that. Don't leave it overnight or forget it. You don't want to get everything too soggy. You just want to give it a nice, good hydration and drink. So when you're done doing that, you're going to have your bare root rose here. And what I want to point out to you is you should be able to see on your rose where that original soil line was for how the rose was grown in the field before it was harvested. So this soil line is what we want to recreate when we get it planted either in a container or in our in-ground permanent home. So I've got here a nice hole. Dig a hole about 12 to 18 inches wide. And what you want to do after you've got your hole dug is you want to kind of get a little mound of dirt, about a fistful. And you want to get that because you can see this root has kind of a crown shape and it's hollow in the middle. And if you don't put this little mound of dirt in the middle, what you're going to find is that not all the roots are going to make good contact with the soil. So if you make this little mound and then you can set that crown of roots on top of it, it will make good contact down here in the bottom where you have lots of little baby roots coming out that really want to take up all this nourishment from the soil. So get your little mound. I'm going to put mine right here in the middle of my hole, and then I'm going to set my rose right in there on top of the little mound that I just created. And then I'm going to backfill all of my soil, bringing the soil level back up to that line that I pointed out to you at the beginning, the line where the soil was when this was originally grown in the field. So once I've got that back up, you want to press it in. And then you want to water it again. No matter what you're planting, whether it's bare root roses or anything else, when you water or when you transplant something, you always want to water it in. All the plants get a little bit stressed when you're doing something like transplanting, and giving them a good drink of water will help them calm down and settle into their new home. Also, just another tip, if you're planting in the ground, I'm planting in a container, but if you're planting in the ground, same size hole, but I would recommend filling that hole with water before you create your little mound, and then let the water drain out. That'll get the surrounding soil nice and moist. And then once you've planted your roses, like I just showed you, water it again. That just makes sure that everything is nicely hydrated and that those roots are gonna have lots of access to the water that they need. One last tip, if you have little shoots on your rose, this one has them, so do these, but some of them may not. If you don't have shoots, don't worry. Just give it a couple weeks and you will have shoots. But as soon as you see shoots, you can go ahead and fertilize your rose. Give it a regular fertilization if you want lots and lots of blooms. But if you don't have the shoots yet, just wait. If you have them, you can fertilize it right after you plant it. And that's about it. It's that easy. One last thing. And just one last tip, if you have shoots already coming out of your rose, on this one you can see them right here, on some of these other ones it actually has full-on leaves. Yours may not have that, and if it doesn't, that's okay, don't worry. But if you have shoots, then you can go ahead and fertilize it right away, right after you've planted it. If you don't have shoots, just give it a couple weeks. Your shoots will pop out, and then you can start to fertilize your rose.